All right, welcome back to another episode of Small Guys Podcast. Today we are doing Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves. First, though, we're going to do movie news. We haven't done it in 6 weeks. We were kind of slacking on that, but we've had some busy Friday episodes, so we're going to tackle some of it now. And there's been some crazy movie news this past week, so let's get right into it. The Super Mario movie debuts with a 46% on Rotten Tomatoes from 52 reviews. From the day we're recording this, which is Tuesday, April 4th. The movie's technically not out yet. And next Friday we're reviewing that movie. So we'll have our own judgments there. But I know a lot of people online didn't like they're not a fan of Chris Pratt doing the Mario voice. And I've heard that apparently they explain it in the movie. So, we'll be reviewing that. But I don't know if a 52 really shocks me. I do think this movie will be good. I feel like with people online, they kind of, hold vendettas. We read off Rotten Tomato scores here, but we don't really trust them fully, right? So, I don't know. I think we're still all pretty excited to see it, right?
I wouldn't say excited to see it. I'm intrigued by it, and I'm curious to see how the movie kind of it unfolds, and just it's like we got all these big names kind of like doing all these voices and stuff like that. I'm just curious on how that translates in terms of just like a good movie,
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is it looks visually appeasing.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard that the story is just really bad. But then again, people are like, when have you ever played a Mario game for the story? Like, you play it for the fun and the adventure behind it.
Yeah, because it feels like someone's always getting kidnapped, right?
And it's always Peach getting kidnapped, but you got to think it's entirely a kid's movie. Like Shrek, you could say is like a kid's animation, but when you rewatch it as an adult, it's funny shit.
Yeah, like same with like Kung Fu Panda and all those that we grew up with.
But I don't know if this one's gonna have like that, adult humor.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
So we won't know until we watch it.
Yeah, and then another movie we're gonna review next Friday is Air. Ben Affleck's Air currently has a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes from 77 reviews.
99?
99 right now. I'll be honest, I saw this already. I got to see it early. It's up there for sports movies for sure. I think it was really, really good, and I'm really excited to talk about it. Like I said, I'm looking forward to listening to that Ben Affleck Smart List podcast because they specifically talk about Air, and obviously Jason Bateman's in it. So I'm really excited to listen to it. I'm trying to hold off to listen to it to kind of like before our podcast next week. So I kind of have it a little fresh. So I'll probably listen to it this weekend. I think it's like an hour and 6 minutes. But there's interesting listen to.
My thing, and I mean, you don't have to spoil it, but I'm just curious if they show. I don't know if I heard something or not, and I don't want you to confirm this. I'm just speaking, but I don't know if someone actually plays Michael Jordan. I heard that it could be like two ways, where they do cast him as someone, or he's just a name and he's the idea behind it all, and no one actually plays Michael Jordan. But I hope that they show why he had such a big name. Because this is kind of before he was the best NBA player of all time.
Yeah, he's only
LeBron James was second.
Yeah, it's before he actually steps foot on
that's
NBA
debatable.
court.
Yeah,
that's debatable.
But I hope they I don't know if it's gonna be like where they have like montages of him shitting on people and stuff like that.
So, yeah, honestly, because I think we'll go probably see it next Tuesday, or you guys will. I might go again because I really did enjoy it, and I'm excited for you guys to see it, to see what your thoughts are for sure. So
I'm excited for it.
Really quick, if I had to guess, I guarantee he's probably at the end of the movie, but don't confirm or deny that.
I won't say. But
let's go on to what we got here next.
John Wick 4 has passed 250 million worldwide. It's only been out for 2 weeks now. It's pretty good. I mean, obviously we have movies coming out like Mario and Air and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. So maybe it calms down a little bit, but that's still pretty impressive for an R-rated movie. And it's cool to see it being successful. I think we all really love that movie. So, and then speaking of John Wick, the John Wick spinoff Ballerina, starring Ana de Armas, releases on June 4th, 2024 in theaters. So we thought.
So I can't believe when I sent that today on Twitter, I was like, "There's no way that this is a movie."
Yeah,
because they kept pushing it, and I remember them literally saying that it was going to be a TV show.
Yeah, has it been it's been rumored for a while, but is this the first confirmation of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think you got a release date.
Yeah, first release date. Yeah, because I thought it was a show too. I could have swore I saw on Twitter that it was a show. But I'm excited it's a movie, and I now the question is like, is Keanu Reeves going to appear in it, like as a flashback or something to tie him into this universe or her into this universe?
I mean, what I read on Twitter was that he was confirmed, but I mean, I don't believe anything I read anymore.
Well, we might see characters like the King or something like that. I don't know, like
for
characters
sure
from and I'm sure like
the Continental manager like that. He's for sure gonna show up.
Yeah,
I think those guys, and they kind of established that in the 4th movie.
Yeah, like will she be in New York, you think, or I don't know. I know it's Continental's all over, but
I just hope she's badass, just like John Wick.
Yeah, I imagine he's gonna show up in that. And I mean, regardless though, that ending, like you don't see a body, by all means. So
yeah. So I'm excited for that, and I like Ana de Armas a lot. So it's funny too. This next one, a Harry Potter reboot is in the works at HBO. Each season of the series would be based on on one of the 7 books. So I guess 7 seasons or maybe 8, depending. I know they did 8 movies. It was funny. I was watching The Mandalorian the other day, which obviously is based off Star Wars, the movies. And I was like, why don't they do this? And I was thinking of like the Hogwarts game. Like, why don't they do a show version of it, but not even based off the books, like just be in that universe, you know what I mean, with new characters? That'd be kind of cool.
Like a separate story.
Yeah, and you're still in that same universe, and it's wizards and everything like that, but it's like, I don't know, different time period. I think that would be kind of cool, but it looks like they're gonna do it off the books. So
the shit that people want and the shit that will be successful is the stuff that they shy away from, and they stay far away from it.
Yeah, because if they fuck it up, I mean, that's a huge fan base. I think the movies all did really well, so I know there's some Fantastic Beasts that weren't received too well, but some people love them. So
I don't know. I think they should stay far away from Harry Potter, to be honest with you.
Honestly, I think the movies are good, but if you go back and rewatch them, like they start off really good. I think the last 2 movies are like 2 of the worst.
Oh, really?
In my opinion, I just don't think that all that build up, like it doesn't pay off.
Yeah,
it just feels quick.
That's fair.
Well, that's the thing. So like they need more of like a Jon Favreau, like someone who grew up with the franchise and loved it, and like someone who's a true fan that can, guide the show to being great and not like, I don't know, the last season of Game of Thrones. Like, so Robert Kirkman says that there will be a smaller release gap between Invincible season 2 and season 3.
There we go.
Yeah, that's good news. I
love hearing that.
I think the rumor is, or maybe it's confirmed, I'm not too sure, but that season 2 will come out at the end of the year or at the beginning of 2024 or something like that, right? I think that's what they teased. So.
I think they said end of the year 2023. So
that's gonna be so sweet.
I mean, then again, it's been like what 2 years now since we've seen Invincible.
I know, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I just rewatched it too.
Yeah, I rewatched it, but
I don't know if have we done this is bad for me saying this, but have we done like an episode on the Invincible?
No, not yet.
Dude.
No, we will. We will for sure. Before
I will say this:
2.
that is probably the first 100 out of 100 I will give something.
Yeah,
that is one of my favorite watches, if not my favorite watch of all time.
We could definitely. I mean, you guys kind of just rewatched it, but I could do a rewatch, and then we could do it like maybe a couple weeks or a week before
as a rewind.
New season.
Yeah, we could rewind it as a show. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, and I know we all 5 of us love that show. So.
Yeah.
So good.
It was just a fun watch, man.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it's
the
just
best part about it.
It's just shocking at times. You're like, holy fuck, they did that actually. So
yeah, and I love trying to put people on the show too, because like some people have never heard of it or don't know what it's like. So especially like we have a friend that loves The Boys and just rewatched The Boys, and I'm like, dude, watch Invincible. It's a quick watch, and like if you love The Boys, you'd probably love Invincible.
Yeah,
and they're both
trying to get one of the guys at work to watch The Boys. He's never seen it.
Oh,
so fuck,
yeah. I'm glad I caved in and watched both of them, man, because two of my favorite watches of all time, probably.
Yeah, because even if you're not a fan of the superhero genre, I feel like you could really like appreciate those shows.
It's more relatable.
Yeah. And speaking of The Boys, Jeffrey Dean Morgan has been cast for The Boys season 4. That was announced a couple weeks ago, but we never mentioned it.
Really?
Bro.
Oh, it's been announced for a while.
Damn. Yeah. Well, when I found it on Twitter, it said March 17th, but I don't know. Maybe it's sooner.
It was like after season 3 dropped. Because they, what is it, Jensen Ackles? They announced him before, and then everyone was hyped for that. And then after that came out, they said that Jeffrey Dean Morgan was going to be in it. So now it's going to be fucking sick.
He's one of my favorites. Like I'm super stoked now.
He was in Watchmen, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
he's
as
been watching Walking
the
Dead.
comedian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, and he's my favorite
just
character
watched
in the
that.
movie.
I've started that movie so many times, and I finally like sat down and finished the entire thing. It's so good.
Yeah,
Zack Snyder's best film for sure.
Yeah, it's personally my favorite by him. The first trailer for Extraction 2 has been released. The film releases on June 16th.
You guys watched that?
I've never seen the first one, but I want to watch it because I've heard.
Oh, the first one's a really good movie, but I sent the trailer, but I never watched it. I forgot about it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I knew you watched the first one. I was wondering if are you excited that they're making another one?
Hell yeah! The first one for a Netflix movie, man.
For a Netflix movie, I like how
it was good, man.
Well,
and that's
Chris
the thing.
Hemsworth,
Netflix either has and I mean Netflix is hit and miss, but it was actually really good. That was actually one of their good movies. But I mean, now that they have all these shit movies out and they're gonna make a second one, it's probably gonna be bad.
Well, I think I saw it's the same director, so hopefully
it's not bad.
Well, they're gonna make a sequel to Army of Dead too.
So I know that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but regardless, so isn't
Hemsworth say Army of the Dead?
Yeah, whatever it's called.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, yeah.
Yeah. Army of the Evil Dead?
No, it's just Evil Dead. The original one.
No.
Like the third remake.
I'm talking about Zack Snyder's film.
Oh, okay.
Army of Dead. You're making me second guess.
Well, no, Evil Dead is the newest one that's coming out.
No, man, it's It's the one where Dave Bautista's in it.
That came out in 2021.
Yeah, so it's been a couple years.
Yeah, it's Army of the Dead.
Yeah, so they're probably making the sequel, right now.
Yeah, I'm saying they're making another one.
That makes sense.
But isn't okay? Regardless, isn't Hemsworth back for the second movie? Didn't he die in the first one or whatever?
No,
did he?
He didn't die.
Or
I've always heard that the first one was good, and I didn't know they were making a sequel till today. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Why is it surprising that he's back then, Aiden?
I don't know why it's surprising because they like the ending made it to where there was going to be a sequel.
Oh, okay. So they're probably planning on it then. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I know that like Red
Notice
movie, like they're planning on a sequel and everything like that. So and it made a ton of money. So, the first trailer for Blue Beetle has been released. This film comes out August 18th in theaters. I didn't know it was coming out that soon. Like they just announced it. Did you guys watch that trailer at all?
So it looks so fucking good. I'm not even gonna lie, man.
Which one?
I know. Blue Beetle.
Oh, dude, it looks sick. I was just telling Mike when we were in line for the movies, I'm like, I mean, if John Wick's not even making 500 million, I mean, it will eventually, but I don't know. I feel like that's going to be it's going to be a success for DC. And
at that point, it'll be rebooted, right? Because the Flash movie comes out in June. So I think this is like.
Yeah, they're definitely on the right path.
Bro, I don't know, man.
I just like how they had Lil Uzi in the trailer, which is dope. And then if you ever seen Cobra Kai, like I haven't seen the newest season, but I think I've seen 1, 2. I don't know if I saw 3, but I definitely saw the first 2. And that his character's named Miguel in that, but he's a good actor. So and he like can do all that like action moves and shit. He's like a Tom Holland basically. So like it's gonna feel he can do his own stunts, so it's gonna feel natural. But the trailer with the big ass sword, like that just brought in a bunch of people too.
Yeah, that was cool. What did you guys think of George Lopez?
George Lopez too.
Sick,
that was funny too.
I thought I saw him the first time and I rewatched it. I'm like, no way, dude.
Yeah. He's got that he got that long ass Santa Claus beard.
Yeah, he's got his
he's gonna be funny as fuck though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw the actor too. He said like the main guy who you're talking about from Cobra Kai. Yeah. I've never seen the show, but I heard it's great. And he's like, yeah, I want this movie to be as big like as if Superman, like this is a Superman movie, and everyone in the comments is like, chill, it's not even out yet. So we'll see. I don't know.
But that's what was he gonna say? Shit. I like how the trailer was because it didn't give away too much, but it also showed like he doesn't want to be a superhero. He just becomes one, It's like he has to be one regardless if he wants to or not. And that's what, like that premise of like a movie or that like idea of one always makes a good film,
Yeah, I feel like that trailer
never wanted to be a superhero.
Yeah, I feel like that trailer kind of gave away a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, maybe, but I didn't really see a villain in it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I assume it's the person that is responsible for the tech or something and wants it back or something like that. Like I'm sure the villain will be similar to what he is, right?
But if they end it and tie it in with like Batman or some shit,
I'm sure that, and they might
Lost Cause.
Yeah, and I know the only reason I knew what Blue Beetle was as a character is from Young Justice. I don't know if you've watched that yet, Mike, or anything like that. But that's a great show, and I like the character a lot in that show. So
Shock, right?
Yeah.
That's like his friend or best friend, I think.
Yeah, and he's like a genius too. Like,
well, they were gonna make.
show.
I know this because it's CW, but they're gonna make a CW show based off Shock, the Shock or whatever. I'm pretty
really?
sure, but it got
Okay.
scrapped at pre-production or something like that.
Damn. Yeah, I think all the CW shows are just like, I think they're done doing the DC stuff, and I assume they're all moving to HBO now or something like that when they reset it or anything like that.
That should have happened 4 or 5 years ago, to be honest with you.
Yeah, once the Flash had lightsabers.
Oh, after Crisis, I think they should have just called it.
Yeah, I agree. Right there at the peak. Okay. The new trailer for Barbie has been released. This film comes out on July 1st in theaters. Did you guys watch that trailer at all?
Yeah. It definitely looks like, I hope it gave me like Truman Show vibes.
Yeah.
Towards the end. So
people online are excited about it though.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those stupid movies that everyone's gonna go see. But they were definitely pushing it to where it was gonna be like a dark twist. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Dude, in the cast too.
But
Sarah being in it and all that shit.
Isn't the guy isn't Shang-Chi that actor? Isn't he the guy that was like going against Fred? Ken.
Yeah, against Ryan Gosling.
Yeah,
they're all Ken and all Barbie. Yeah,
cool.
And like the cast, like Michael Cera is supposed to be in it, like Dua Lipa, like all these people, like
Dua Lipa.
yeah, she's in it. Like she made music for it, and she's in it.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling. Well, the biggest reason people are gonna see that shit is fucking Margot Robbie. We all know that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm excited for that one. I'll definitely go see it.
Yeah, we'll go see that. And then last but not least, the new trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has been released. This film comes out June 2nd. The summer's stacked.
Fuck, man. I have high expectations for that. I'm so fucking excited for that, to be honest with you.
I think I watched the trailer like 4 times. Do you think it gave up too much?
Maybe a little bit, but at the same time, like I heard the Spot was going to be like the main villain, so maybe they're giving us like a misdirection.
Yeah, but now I think it's Spider-Man 2099, don't you?
Oh yeah, obviously that's what they want you to.
That's how the teaser was too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that trailer seemed long as shit though.
Yeah,
like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm like Metro Boomin's doing the soundtrack. I think it has like a lot of potential. And then too, they tease like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange from Earth 999 or 1999. And all that. So I think the story's cool. I think what it'll be, because like from what I was picking up from the trailer was that like Miles would basically lose maybe someone close to him, maybe like a father or something. Yeah,
they're hinting at Uncle Ben.
Yeah, but he doesn't have Uncle Ben, so maybe for him it's his dad or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I thought he lost Prowler, which was kind of his Uncle Ben.
His uncle, yeah, that's what I took it as in the first movie. So I could be wrong completely, but I don't know. Like it felt like they're teasing something like that. But like, yeah, the trailer is just awesome. Like them pointing at each other and everything, and you see like the PlayStation Spider-Man there. Like you see a bunch of them.
That's the thing is, I feel like there's just gonna be so much shit you're not even gonna know like what to look at.
Oh yeah, no.
And we're all gonna go watch it, and someone's gonna catch something that someone else didn't see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the amount of Easter eggs will be nuts. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe Tom Holland's Spider-Man shows up in an Easter egg or something. I don't know, and I don't know how they explain that in the MCU, but I don't know. I'm excited, and I know this is like part 1, basically, kind of to another movie. You know. So they're doing a trilogy. But
I wouldn't be surprised if they end this with kind of leaking into maybe like a live action like Spider-Verse movie, or obviously leaking in, like you said, to the MCU, but that'd be really hard to explain, I feel like.
Yeah. And that first Spider-Man movie, I think it's one of the best Spider-Man movies out there. One of the best superhero movies. One of them.
Top 3 at the bare minimum, but I think
I mean, it was so good. And I don't think, did any of us even see it in theaters? I don't think I even got to, sadly.
No, I didn't.
Because that animation sounds sweet. 2018?
Yeah, no,
I think. Yeah, so I know
we're all watching at home, and I literally was like, fucking, freaking.
Yeah, I think it's literally like that movie, Guardians. I'm really excited for it, and then like Oppenheimer. I think those are like my 3 most anticipated movies right now. Yeah. So I'm really excited for that. So that obviously we'll have to go see right away, right when we can. So, but yeah, you guys ready to talk Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves. A charming thief and a band of unlikely adventurers embark on an epic quest to retrieve a lost relic. But things go dangerously awry when they run into an awful group of people. This movie has a 91% critic score and a 94% audience score. We just got back from seeing it. What'd you guys think?
I'll be the first to say it. I had no interest going to see this movie at all. I don't even think I saw a trailer for it. And I honestly thoroughly enjoyed it the entire time that we were there. I thought sometimes like it was kind of cheesy. I thought what's her name's character?
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, Holga. I thought she
Olga.
was awful. I mean, I like the part where she's like messing people up and beating everyone up and like doing action scenes, but like I don't know. I thought it was just stupid. Like some of her dialogue was just dull. And I know that
Yeah.
it's like part of her character, but even like her facial expressions and shit like that, I don't know. I couldn't take it serious. But then again, it is like just a raunchy comedy.
I was about to say, man, you got to remember the title of the movie, Dungeons and
Dungeons and
Dragons.
Dragons.
So
I mean, I have no background in Dungeons and Dragons. I know it's a board game.
Yeah.
And doesn't it take like hours to complete a quest or like a storyline?
Yeah, so basically it's pretty cool too because I've listened to podcasts before, like Pardon My Take, which is a sports podcast, and none of them have ever played Dungeons and Dragons. And what they'll do in the summer, because sports kind of calm down a little bit besides baseball, they're mainly like a football podcast. But in the summer, what they'll do is they'll hire a guy to come in and guide them through a quest who does Dungeons and Dragons, and they hire him. And it's pretty funny because they'll get into it and they go for like 3 hours long, 4 hours long, depending on the quest. So, but what's cool is like each character, when you play Dungeons and Dragons, has like their own ability. Like one's a mage and, you know, the other one's a healer and one's like, you know, a strong guy, right? So each one has their own roles. And I feel like this movie really did that well. And then too, it's like you make your own story in a way, right? So like he guides you, like you're going into a cave and like a spider jumps out. So like you have to roll dice to see who can take the spider out and save other people. If Mike gets attacked, Aiden can heal him if he rolls a certain dice. So it's pretty cool. And it, you know, obviously it takes a lot of imagination too, but you make the character sheets beforehand. And, you know, I thought like the part where, you know, and we're not really trying to jump around here, but like the part where like they're about to cross that bridge and he's talking about like having to step on those certain steps, like that kind of reminded me of the game. And I've only know about some certain parts of the games just from like listening to the podcasts and stuff like that. So it'd be cool in the future from now, like obviously none of us have played Dungeons and Dragons. It'd be cool if we hired someone or brought on someone who like is really great at it and we could do like a podcast episode where we do like a 3-hour Dungeons and Dragons. I think that'd be pretty cool just to try. I think it'd be funny. But yeah, I did like that a lot in this movie, how everyone kind of had their own rules and roles, I guess. So yeah. Mike, what did you think?
I mean, like Aiden's, so I enjoyed it actually. I came in it with no expectations, to be honest with you. I did hear the critic reviews and Rotten Tomato scores beforehand, so I was kind of a little intrigued with how why are people thinking this movie's so good? But you got to remember, like this movie and like Dungeons and Dragons has a huge fan base, obviously. So I think that definitely plays a factor. But for the most part, though, besides some cheesy parts here and there, you know, I did enjoy this movie for the most part. Like I said, man, there's some pretty bright spots. You know, besides that, like I said, cheesy moments with Michelle Rodriguez's character and a little dialogue here and there, but not bad overall for sure.
What do you think about that cameo?
Yo, dude,
the cameo was great, man. It's just so random, and it just like something like that where you have absolutely no idea what's gonna happen, and then you just see Bradley Cooper as a miniature like hobbit type elf, like I don't know what they're called.
Did you notice him when he opened the door? I didn't even know till they were sitting down talking.
I did, and I was gonna say something, but I'm like, obviously we're gonna see him more. So I waited, I held off on asking, and then I was like, all right, that's definitely Bradley.
Yeah, we're all giggling as soon as we noticed.
This thing, dude, like when they do that close up when he's like explaining himself, like it just looks like his body is just getting smaller and smaller on the screen. It's like I'm like, what the hell is going on, man? I'm like, I thought I was falling asleep.
Yeah. No, I noticed it at the door too, but I was like the same thing as I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wait a quick second because we're definitely gonna see some more. And as you guys know, he's my favorite actor, so it was really cool seeing him.
It wasn't even like he was like being funny, like he had like maybe 5 minutes on screen and that was it, like nothing more happened.
2 minutes with that, and like it's just funny that the fact he's some like little minor like character like Ryan Reynolds and what's that one movie?
Bullet Train using
Bullet Train.
Yeah.
I forget about that, man.
Yeah, dude, and like too, like his beard was kind of like trimmed down a lot. So like I don't know, like it took me a second to notice him, and once we did it, it was funny. And then you're like, is anyone else gonna show up? Like you never knew, and I don't know. I thought that was funny, and that's cool that he like was in it really quick. And too, we didn't even talk about Chris Pine yet. I think Chris Pine did like a great job. I think he carried this movie like 100%. Like, he carried that
movie.
Yeah, charismatic, funny.
Yeah, I saw that the girl that was the Animorph
Dork
type character.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the redheaded girl from It.
Yeah.
So that I found that out
familiar.
like after. Yeah, she looked familiar, and I'm like trying to think, and then towards the end of the movie, I'm like, all right, she was in It.
Yeah, her name's
we saw
Sophia. Sophia
Lillis. Yeah.
Yep. And then obviously I don't know what Daisy Head played in Sophina, the Red Witch or whatever they were calling her.
Yeah, dude, she was creepy.
But yeah, Justice Smith, we obviously see him because he looks like Chris. But he's in Jurassic World. I'm not too fond of like the characters that he plays, but I thought he did a decent job.
Yeah, he's in like Detective Pikachu too.
I was gonna say I noticed him from the oh my god. Detective Pikachu, and then there's a movie called All the Bright Places that I seen online.
Was he good in Detective Pikachu or no? He just plays the same character.
Dude, you know what's funny? After all these years and being a Pokemon fan, I haven't seen that, and I own it on DVD.
Oh, you haven't seen that movie either?
I've never seen it.
Okay, I mean that Ryan Reynolds is in it. I mean, he's Pikachu.
Yeah,
so he does the voice. So
forgot about that too.
Yeah,
damn, so I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie actually. Especially if you like Pokemon, I think you'd enjoy it. But yeah, he does kind of. You're right, Mike. Like he does kind of play the same character. Like even I mean, we know from Jurassic World, he kind of plays this nerd, tech nerd, right?
Yeah. So looks like it. So you might as well.
That's what made him, I think, perfectly casted for this because like he is this nerd sorcerer who's not that strong, and I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool too.
No, I definitely enjoyed it. I wish Andrew was on here because that girl, his daughter, was the same girl that played was the daughter in 65.
Okay.
I mean, she's not bad. She definitely did better in this movie than she did in 65, but it's just weird seeing her in 2 2023 movies back to back.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I mean,
dude, when she does that creepy laugh when he gets faked out by the witch, Savina, like that was fucking good acting.
I saw you jump in the maze.
Yeah, dude.
Guys jump in the maze part. He's like,
I stopped paying attention for 1 second. That fucking tiger thing, the panther jumps out, and I'm like, whoa.
That's the thing that I enjoyed about this movie. Like, dude, it was funny as shit. Chris Pine 100% carried the entire movie. But the CGI was good. Like seeing all those characters, like, I mean, Star Wars, I feel like is the only show movies that we get where we see like good CGI like characters, like people walking around like that short dragon like character and stuff like that.
I mean,
like,
Transformers,
when you look at it, it looks good.
I think the Transformers CGI is really fucking good, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's good, but it's not like it doesn't feel real. Like when you have a conversation with a miniature dragon, like you're like, all right, like this doesn't look like shit. Like it actually looks decent.
How does that
even
look?
like even things like House of the Dragons and stuff, which is like an HBO show, like that looks really good, graphic wise and CGI wise. And it's like I know with the Phase 4 Marvel movies, with them rushing everything, we saw some bad CGI. So I think like seeing movies like that on the big screen, and then seeing movies like this with better CGI, it's like very noticeable when it's good and when it's not really. So that was cool. And I liked how the team was just like this underdog, type, failures, right? Where they mentioned that, like that kind of almost gave me like Guardians of the Galaxy vibes, like these people that don't have families and they're underdog losers that band together to accomplish something. So I thought that was really cool.
1,000,000%. I like how I know I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but I like how they really got them into the games. I think that was foreshadowed really well. And the second that they got caught by the blue dragon wrapped around Sophia, I was like, like they're 1,000,000% gonna go into the games.
Yeah, that was cool too.
I loved Hugh Grant's character, Forge. I thought he was hilarious, man.
Yeah,
like anytime he's on screen, like it was just like everything you want him to say, he says it, and it's just it makes it so much better. And,
the one part where he's like, "I can't watch you die, so I'll just leave the room."
So I'm gonna leave the room. Like it's just bullshit. The absolute one thing I hate about this movie, and I don't know if you guys caught this, but every time like they're going to the pit, like they would always repeat what the person says, and they did it at, like I don't know if you, like I said, I don't know if you guys caught it, but they did it from the start to the finish. Everything that they said, even when they met that one character that was like for the helmet part, like, they're like, oh, we're going here, and they would just repeat it, and everything.
But you know what's kind of cool though? I thought about that. You know what's kind of cool though? If you're playing Dungeons and Dragons for the first time with a group who's played it before in this universe, and like they're like, well, you're going to the pit. You're like, the pit. And like I feel like the way they explain things and show you things,
then that's
the excuse I would make for it. But you're right. That was.
But if that's not intended, then I hate it.
And it might not have been. I might be defending the movie too much, but yeah. But that's a cool out they could use, I guess.
Yeah. My number one scene was when I like the flashbacks. I thought they did a good job with that. Anytime they told a story, I thought that it flowed well. But I did like the part where she infiltrates the castle and she's like changing into all these things, trying to escape.
Really cool.
I like that because the CGI was good and it was like you're on edge. Like it was a good chase scene.
Dude, there's certain parts where like when they go in that cave for that helmet, and I'm like, why doesn't she turn into a bird or something? Like, you know what I mean? Or something like that. That's what I kept thinking in my head.
But I mean, that's the same where, what is it? Michelle Rodriguez's character is like, just use magic. And I thought that was funny. Like, that was one good thing that kept going on.
Yeah. And that's another thing, too. If you're playing the game, you could be like, well, can I just use magic to do this? Like, you know?
Yeah. So maybe I would love to get someone that actually plays Dungeons and Dragons to like, you know, because they're probably saying, oh, yeah, that's exactly how it is and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I said. They have a huge fan base, and I'm sure there was probably a plethora of people that seen this shit at opening night.
I mean, people were clapping when we just finished an hour ago.
Yeah, people were excited. And you know, too, they made a Dungeons and Dragons movie like 20 years ago. And it's not related to this movie at all, obviously, but they tried this before and it did make decent money, but it just was bad. So
obviously it was bad,
yeah.
That's the thing too, man. I mean, like you mentioned Chris Pine, like, I mean, I can't tell you, like, I have no like love for Star Trek, and I remember when that original Star Trek came out with Chris Pine, like I loved it. You know, like he just brings so much more to the movies, and especially Wonder Woman 1. I didn't have any interest in watching that, but he sold the show. And then I didn't think his character was that good in Don't Worry Darling. I feel like it was good, but they didn't write him well, which is not his fault.
He's just a really good fucking actor, to be honest.
He is. And
well, like he was even in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He was in the beginning as Peter Parker, and I thought even like voice acting, and in that movie too, he's kind of narrating like his backstory, and I thought like even his voice acting is really good. Like, you know.
So I mean, he is a good actor, and I mean everything that he touches is pretty much good in my books. But
he was perfectly casted for this.
Did you guys think when you were watching it, like even from the beginning, did you think it was gonna have like a Jumanji vibe to it?
A little bit.
Like, do you think that people were going to be outside playing and then these are the characters that they're playing? I was kind of waiting for that, but I think that they did a good job of like, you know, making it realistic. Like it's an actual universe.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't do that. Yeah. But I thought maybe they were. And then too, like at the beginning when they're trying to make their plea to get out of jail, I thought, I'm like, oh no, I'm like, is this whole thing, like, is he going to tell this whole story? And then at the end, it's him telling like these guys to get out of prison.
But I love the full circle it did. No, the escape plan was great, but I love the full circle, how they start off pleading like to the jury or whatever, the judges, and then it's Forge at the end, and they just veto him, and then he tries doing the same thing.
Yeah,
because that is smart, dude. And that's the thing is like, I feel like that scene alone was like, all right, this is gonna be a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. When I first seen that, when he was making the plea to the council, and then like when he jumped out with Jonathan the bird, and then one of them was like, we accepted your plea. I got really pissed off when I heard that. I was like, bro, why the fuck would he do that? Like,
did they accept him? It was green, right?
Yeah, he got approved.
Yeah, he got approved.
Yeah, no, he's stupid.
I mean,
but that's the best part of his character is that he literally just has charisma. So I thought of it like Fallout. Like, you know, you just keep building up your charm or whatever, and he just talks his way out of anything.
Well, that's the thing. So it showed in that scene, it showed that like he is good at making plans, but also he's a good talker and very convincing, you know. So I think it did both for him, his character. But yeah, it was funny because like he's telling this backstory, he keeps cutting himself off to save himself time for this character. And I'm like, what does he have, like an in with this guy where this guy owes him like a favor, like to, you know what I mean? Like you think like, what is this? And then he sees Bird.
But then you see him hug him and he's like, get off of me. It's like, all right, so maybe he's not.
He even convinced Holga that like, oh, like he's gonna be like so great for us. Like he didn't even tell Holga that like they were gonna jump out the fucking window with the bird.
He definitely has good plans. And that, I don't know, man. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, man.
You know, bringing up Bradley Cooper, I think he would have been a pretty good lead for, you know, this too.
Yeah.
And honestly, that almost makes me think that like he was probably in the running for the character, but Chris Pine probably just beat him out. I don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because you could see Chris Pine doing that little cameo too,
I can
right?
see them being flip flops. Like,
Yeah.
they both got charisma and they
Yeah.
both are good actors.
So real
Yeah.
quick, the one of the directors, Jonathan Goldstein, he did this movie. He did Game Night, which makes sense.
That's a good movie.
Vacation, the remake of National Lampoons. He did Horrible Bosses 1 and 2.
Okay.
Oh wow.
He did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2.
That's a lot of comedies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did Homecoming and The Flash. He's supposed to have his hands on The Flash.
Oh wow.
So maybe, I mean, I assume that it's gonna be funny.
Yeah, that's a good
last
track
year
record.
that he went to U of M.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah, that's the thing is this movie had like surprisingly a lot of comedy that worked. It wasn't like hitting you over the head constantly where they're doing it, and it had like a lot of heartfelt moments too.
It was
which
pretty
is shocking.
emotional.
Oh, no way.
When they were talking about like like the connection with his wife and his daughter, like they honestly made me really invested in just how that played out towards the end.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, have you guys ever seen Waiting with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
You remember the server that's training with him that doesn't talk?
Yeah.
That's one of the directors for this.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so his name's John Francis Daly. And
oh, okay.
He was the trainee, and he's like, "You people are fucking crazy," and then he blows up at the end.
He was one of the directors too.
Yeah, he was, and he had his hands on Homecoming as well.
Oh damn.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a decent amount of. I mean, it seems like they're a duo. So
who who is this backed by?
The company.
Yeah.
I think it was Paramount. I think
Paramount. No,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, because they did the stars.
Yeah, Paramount Pictures. Yeah, and it had the ice.
Yeah,
which I thought that was cool.
That was cool. Yeah. What was that thing at first where like the dragon was like coming through the
it's just marketing?
No, okay. I was confused by that.
Yeah, because they have I don't know if it's Japan or whatever, but they have that 3D sign that goes in like an L shape.
Oh yeah.
They had the Dungeons and Dragons like. I mean, we didn't really see a dragon. We saw a fat ass dragon.
No,
we saw a dragon in the cutscene too.
Yeah, but that's why I thought I was kind of waiting for that, but they did a good job making it like a fat dragon, I guess. Because
that was funny.
You never see that.
But
then again, I mean, like you said, Dungeons and Dragons, you create your own script.
Yeah.
So if I get the role and it's my turn to like, kind of write the next scene, I'm like, hey, we go to the lair and there's a dragon. But the dragon's fat.
Yeah, so that's
stupid.
That's the thing. So a dungeon master will sit there and write out this storyline and will throw random shit in there, right? Like a dragon now appears in the cave, like literally just like that. So that's what's cool.
It's a thick dragon.
Yeah, and like in that situation where like that bridge fell apart, it's like, okay, what do you guys want to do next? And like Holga's like, well, I'll throw my axe across and I have a rope. Like you could do that, but then you have to spin, you have to roll your dice and you have to get an 18 or higher to achieve it. Whereas like Simon's character is like, well, I have this staff where I can portal us over there. And they're like, okay, all you need to do is roll 3. So whatever's easier to manage, then you roll, you have a better chance at rolling the dice for it. So that's what's really cool about it. And like I said, it's a lot of imagination. I don't know too much about the game, but like it is entertaining to listen to, especially if you've never played.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess that's a good point though. It's Dungeons and Dragons. So I definitely wish I would have seen a little bit more of the dragons for sure. But maybe they're holding that off for a sequel or a trilogy or something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing is what I asked like when we originally started was there's so many different quests. So this could be one quest and maybe it's a actual like quest that they have.
Yeah.
That's called Honor Among Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean they are all thieves and they obtain their honor at the end. So
yeah,
we could have
that's the thing. They could spin this movie off into franchise for sure. I mean, this world, if you think about it, we barely saw anything. I feel like, and two, like the magic was all really cool too. I thought.
Yeah,
I agree.
I thought that one scene where they're on the horses, like escaping when they're like saying this is our band that we have or our gang. I thought that looked kind of cheesy, and I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be another Avatar.
Yeah,
but nah.
Yeah, I was a little nervous at the beginning, like I said, because I was like, I don't want Chris Pine to like narrate this whole story and like this to be an entire flashback, and I was happy that they didn't go that route, and it was a way for them to escape. So I thought that was cool, and like the whole story with his wife and stuff, and like he tells the story the first time, and obviously like we've seen movies like that where he, the person explaining the story leaves something out, and clearly he ended up stealing that gold that was marked, and it was his fault that his wife died. So I thought that was all like really cool to tie in, and then too, like Kira's like grew up without the mom. Really, she was only like a baby when the mom died. So yeah, I don't know, this movie surprisingly had like a lot of heart to it too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, it has a good mix between heart and obviously comedy, and then just a little bit of seriousness. I mean, obviously, like Dungeons and Dragons, like you need a little bit of seriousness. So that like you said, it finds a way to mix all three really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then well, we didn't even talk about the Enoch is the character's name, right?
Yender.
Yender?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
the handsome looking motherfucker.
Yeah, that walks in a straight line. That shit was so funny on the beach.
Dude, it's so stupid, man. And that's why he's like,
approaching that rock.
There were some funny ass parts of this movie.
Yeah.
And you can't beat it.
Yeah, and then he was a total badass with the sword, and they're like, luckily he's on our team.
Yeah.
He just says he's going away. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's like an actual character, because I mean it kind of didn't make any sense because he fought in that war. And he was still.
How is he still young?
Yeah.
Well, because he's technically like a wizard.
Yeah.
But then you're a wizard, Harry. What does that mean? Like,
I don't know.
Well, like, so it's the same thing with like how Sofino is still alive. Like when he was running away, he got like kind of that curse on him. But he got away without dying. So, I think he can just not really age.
Yeah,
that much.
Well, remember when they put that magic resistant band on her and she starts getting old?
Yeah.
So I think he's obviously like whatever he has allows him to just maybe not de-age.
Yeah, and I'm sure if he had that band on, he would probably, same thing would happen to him too. So
damn, that's true. Okay.
But then it's weird too, is like we see her do that red smoke or whatever, but like in a larger scale, and we see those original like rich people, but we don't see them after that. They don't help her in the fight. They don't do anything like that, which I think is kind of iffy.
Well, yeah. So I'm not sure. I think in the flashback, everyone died, right? They got hit by the smoke, so maybe they just died. But I thought you're right. I thought they were building like an army of a dead army.
Yeah, because once they get the smoke, then they come back as witches.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I was kind of waiting on that. It never happened. So I don't know if they just forgot.
Or maybe she has to get enough people in the smoke to do it, or something like that. Maybe.
But one thing that gets me with that though is how the fuck did that whole stadium clear out?
Yeah, well, because they dropped the gold.
I know, but like there is too many people in that stadium, like
that's the thing, Mike. So it's like if you look up, I guess they're looking down at the maze, but like if you look up in the sky and see like that smoke and all those, fines or whatever those were coming down, wouldn't you think like, okay, they're all gonna run out of the stadium anyway? So you'd think she would have a plan to like lock them in there. I guess it was just to keep them distracted, but like, yeah, I guess the gold lured them out, which that was kind of cool. But still, I thought when we were watching, like, wouldn't they just run away from seeing that smoke, in general?
Well,
so
I mean, here's the thing though, the smoke, you see in the flashback, it like travels. So I mean, like they can only get so far,
Yeah.
So I guess she wasn't worried about that.
But I know maybe it is true because remember he had to distribute the wealth amongst the people, and maybe once he did that, that's when it kind of stopped.
No, he kept his promise to Yender, and once obviously everybody cleared out, and she's seen that like everybody's running away. She's like, why the hell is everybody running away? And then that's when they obviously meet the whole team. So I guess like I get it a little bit, but just like how that unfolded at the end, I wish there was a little bit more just to it, I guess,
Yeah. Yeah, and that maze scene too, like, that was a lot of like anxiety, like holy shit. And you're seeing people get like cut apart and all that shit, and that chest came alive, it was trying to eat her, and there's a bunch of cool stuff. Like
I did like I like the part where they put the painting on the bottom. Like there's a pile of leaves in the middle and it's so obvious. And then they're going, then there's just a random rock in the middle too. Like,
well, what's funny is Holga, she's like, she has those someone's legs. I think Simon's legs.
Yeah.
And she's looking at the guards and they're just like, what the fuck?
But then again, I mean, you could take into consideration like, oh, there's a random rock in the road. What are you gonna do? It's like pull him in or let him fall. Like, it's all like based on like a chance or whatever it's called.
Exactly.
The dice, like
a gamble kind of thing. Yeah, I wanted to. I want to ask you guys this because I was picking up huge heavy vibes like Skyrim.
Yeah,
and I think it was like seeing those cat humans and like the magic and everything, and like you said earlier with the charisma, like I was picking up heavy Skyrim vibes. Like I was like, I want to go home and play Skyrim just from watching this. I don't know.
I mean, it's medieval, like kind of vibes. Like I think anything within that realm is going to be kind of remind
like a fantasy style. Yeah. Adventure. Yeah, that was what I was picking up for sure. I was like, oh, this giving me Skyrim vibes for sure.
Yeah, but I think on top of that too, I kind of want to talk about Sophia. I think for the most part, like her character had a lot of substance to it, and I think the casting was really good for that. And I think just a twist for her being a red elf or whatever they called it in the movie. I definitely like that too, and obviously how she was kind of using Hugh's character as like a puppet.
Yeah. So and he was trying to use them before. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, he's so arrogant that you could believe that he's being tricked into this, and she is giving him this wealth, and but I thought that was pretty funny too.
I clicked on her like movies and TVs. It says that she's in Splinter Cell. What the hell?
Hazy Head, right?
Yeah, she does a lot of like horror movies. I mean, it makes sense because she honestly looks terrifying.
Yeah, her character's creepy.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, nothing bad, but she scared the shit out of me when I saw her.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, when she was Kira, like that got
when the fly's on the top and she screams, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, and zaps it with lightning or tries to.
Yeah.
Oh. The rich people are like, what the fuck was that?
It's like, whatever you're doing over there, can you stop?
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was funny, man.
I like how they the red smoke only got the rich people too. I think that was really good.
Yeah, who are gambling on people's lives, or they're assholes anyway, so you don't care if they die.
No, not at all.
Yeah, they're like, what is she doing? That was funny. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I want to make sure we didn't miss out on any parts. The helmet thing with Simon, trying to do the helmet thing. I thought that was pretty cool with his grandfather.
I like that. So I think the biggest thing we should talk about here is the ending. Then I think we're at that point where we can talk about it, where they obviously bring back Holga instead of their mom. And
Mike, did you see that coming?
I mean, yeah, I think you see that coming the second that like you see the
she
sword
gets stabbed.
Like, oh wow, like she's gonna get brought back and it's gonna be this big thing. But I think they did it the right way though. Just with the flashback scenes and just obviously the daughter growing up with Holga and everything like that. It makes
that was really cool.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and Edgin kept saying the whole movie that he wants to just bring back her mom. He kept saying her mom. And in a way, Holga was her mom. So I thought that was like a cool, that was cool that they got to that point. I thought that was really, and that was earned too. And you could tell like Holga cares about her throughout the whole movie, calling her bug or whatever. But and her obsession with potatoes. I can't believe she just threw the potato at Forge's face like that. That's funny too.
Well, okay, so I almost wish that like it would have went two ways here. One, Holga would have got like when she was dying, she was like, make me a promise that like you won't bring me back.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that would have been a really good way to go. Or the second thing, honestly, I was kind of rooting for Edwin and Holga to kind of go from like brother. Not okay, I don't mean it that way, but like from like the relationship they had until like
you want them to pursue incest.
More of a romantic.
Yeah, more of a romantic relationship.
He's a little too tall for the kind of guy she's
into.
Yeah,
and then
her
at the end.
That was funny.
That shit's funny, man. And then the one part where he's like, someone say you guys should kiss, she's like, try it.
Yeah. And then Chris Pine, everyone looked at her, he's like, for a quick second. Like you see in like the Guardians trailer with Star-Lord when he looks at Nebula.
Oh yeah. Nebula, yeah.
I just didn't realize how dark your eyes were.
Such a pretty set.
Yeah.
I what did you guys think of that final like fight? Like I thought that was pretty cool too.
Final fight was good. I like how she just kind of went all out when they're like all attacking her, like it had like Avengers vibes.
Yeah, because I was like they're going back. Like when they turned the ship, I'm like, oh no. I mean they had to, right? But like, damn.
No, it honestly had Guardians vibes, like you said, Josh. Like that was pure Guardians vibes, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and when you go see Guardians for the first time in like 2014, we weren't expecting much, right? Like we were like, who are these people? Like, what is this universe? We hadn't even been in space yet or anything like that in that MCU. So that's what it really reminded me of. I was picking up heavy vibes on that, and like I said, with Skyrim too. So yeah, for sure, it gave me those vibes. And I'm not like a huge Michelle Rodriguez fan. Like, even the Fast and Furious movies, she's kind of.
I liked her character. I don't know what you're talking about.
I like her character, but I didn't like. I'm not a huge fan of the actress, so like I was surprised I ended up liking her character. So I'm saying.
Yeah. I think, I mean, for the most part, like some of the scenes obviously were really cheesy. That's not on her though. Like, it's just the writing and the way the movie played out. I think she did a really good job in this role, and I like the roles that she has, even in like Fast and Furious. Maybe her acting a little bit is a little rough here and there, but for the most part, I think she plays that badass woman role really effectively, honestly.
Yeah, and she has like that stale comedy, kind of like Drax, right, where he's like the muscle, but he he doesn't understand jokes that well.
That's a perfect comparison, honestly.
Yeah, and Chris Pine's more of that Star-Lord. I'm just connecting it more to Guardians, but yeah, I don't know. I love that final fight though. That was really cool.
It was sweet, and I like how the bear owl. That was cool.
Yeah, that looks sweet. That was a cool idea.
Like sick.
That scared the fuck out of me in real life.
Yeah, fuck.
And
you think it'd be more vicious though?
Bear. Yeah. Well, that could have been just more her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I'd pull out that one all the time. I thought we'd see. It was funny. What is it? Deer.
Yeah, the deer part. I thought that was like the most fake looking animal that she did.
Yeah. The rat was real.
It was like what's the Teen
Titans? It was a real rat.
Huh? Beast Boy.
Oh, Beast Boy, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was reminding me of.
Teen Titans, yeah, for sure, yeah.
That was shit.
Yeah, that's a good comparison, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that final fight was cool, and then like the way they outsmarted her to put that band on, I thought that was really cool, and it made sense that they still had it because Simon just took his off with the keys, so it all made sense. It was like, where the hell did they get that band from? It was nothing like that, and they kept teasing that the daughter could go invisible with her necklace, so. And and Egan's really good with plans, so yeah, it was cool that, so it made sense that they actually had a plan going in there. We just didn't get to see it, and so really cool ending.
All worked out.
Yeah. So I think, did we get everything? I want to make sure that we got everything. I think so, right? There was some cool heist aspects. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like that.
Oh, the cemetery.
Oh yeah,
cemetery part was. Oh my god,
that was funny.
That was honestly hilarious.
Well,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think I seen the first body in like the trailer where they're like asking the 5 questions, and they're like, "Oh, is this a question?" No, and then he like dies, and they're like, "Oh shit."
Well, that was the best way to start out that scene. I mean, it's good because you see like the whole process, like shots that cut right after each other. It's like the move of the tomb, and then like, because you're not gonna sit there and do the ruin or the charm, whatever it is, and and then he goes through 5 questions. Yes, no. Like, oh man.
And then he dies instantly.
I like that.
Yeah, because I thought at first they were only able to do it once to like one person, so I thought they like wasted it at first. So, but yeah, it was funny that they kept doing it, and then that poor last guy.
Yeah,
well, it's like, you only asked 4 questions.
Literature, then.
Well, realistically, imagine if they would have used the rune on her dead body, and then been like, "Hey, are you going to like? Do you want to come back?"
Dead body.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Holga's. And they could have been like, that could have been her like, no, you know what? She needs her mother. Like, I don't know. I'll be here in spirit or something. I don't know.
Well, that too, I thought about that too. I'm like, I wonder if they considered like doing like that to his wife that passed away, right? Technically, right?
But he didn't know him back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I doubt he wants to go dig up his wife and then give her 5 questions.
Yeah, give her 5 questions.
Hey, do you want to come back, or do you like being dead?
Well, and then she'd be gone for good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Is that how it goes?
I don't know.
I think so. We could assume it is. Yeah, but Aiden's right. Why would you want to dig up your dead wife and all that shit? It's probably traumatic as fuck. So
yeah. Dude, that fucking Bradley Cooper's new wife is fucking huge, bro. That shit was too funny, man.
Yeah, she's way bigger than Holga is.
That's the thing is, like, what was his character? Are they like dwarves? Or are they just small, like miniature?
Yeah, I don't know. And clearly there's other miniature people throughout the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like the one girl at the tavern where she's like, something's going on up there. And she
Mhm.
like told on them, and yeah, and the guy at the end, obviously. So
And fucking Holga looks at him with
yeah,
their eyes
yeah, she
wide
clearly
open.
has a type.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I thought
fucking
that was all really
hilarious.
funny.
what's his name? Starts with a M. Martin or Marlon, Bradley Cooper's character.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah,
he clearly has a type too. It's bigger, dominant one.
dominant women. Yeah, strong women. Yeah, that's funny. That whole scene was really funny. And then it was cool, like how it tied into like him getting that staff and having, more power and stuff. So I thought like that all made sense too. It wasn't
Yeah.
like one of those cheesy things where it was like over time throughout the movie, he just gets stronger and stronger. It was like, no, like he got these like, weapons, tools to help him, focus his magic and make him stronger. So I thought that was all really cool too. And it runs in his bloodline too, which I thought that was cool to mention also.
Yeah. I like his arc and at the end when he's in the last time he puts the helmet on, where he kind of just like punches his great grandfather and he realizes that it's actually him. And he's been the only one that's been holding him back, which is a really cool storyline, I think.
Yeah, and I'm glad too in that final fight, like when he's fighting Sofina, that he's not like as powerful as her, right? Like it wouldn't make sense. So I thought, so I thought that was really cool too. Like he's still kind of able to hold his ground, but he wasn't going to beat her by himself at all.
But it would have made more sense for him to keep the helmet on,
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
And I thought that's what they were going to do, is him having to wear the helmet the rest of the movie. But no, I guess not.
He kind of looked dumb in that helmet, to be honest with you. But
yeah, it was a dumb looking helmet, but that's what's funny.
It doesn't look sweet.
And that's another like Dungeons and Dragons thing too, is like picking up tools or weapons that are enchanted and like being able to use that for the rest of the quest and stuff like that until it breaks or whatever. So that was like cool too, how he gets the helmet and he gets the staff, and I don't know.
Yeah.
There's cool things like that. So
no, there's a lot of cool little tidbits here and there, and some really cool Easter eggs, I'm sure, for the fan base too, that they probably can pick up on, and just in the movie, throughout the movie in general, a lot of foreshadowing. And yeah, I think this movie is pretty solid, honestly, for what it's worth. And the title Dungeons and Dragons, like what the fuck do you expect,
Yeah. Do you guys want to move into scores and reviews?
Yeah, we can close it out.
You want to go first, then?
Yeah. Well, like I mean, I opened up saying this. I had no interest in this movie. Went there, enjoyed it from start to finish. I mean, there's little things I can nitpick here and there, but I mean, all in all, I highly recommend this movie to someone. I mean, even if you're a nerd or you're, just want a good comedy movie. I thought it was good. Like you said, Chris Pine definitely carried he put that shit on his shoulders, man. He carried the entire film. He's a good actor, but I don't think I really hated any other character. I mean, I already explained myself, but I do recommend this movie. I'm glad I went and saw it, and I don't know. It's
cool to see on a big screen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I don't know if I would I don't know if I'd see it again. I don't know. But I mean, I wouldn't change the channel if it was on TV. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
I guess
you'd recommend it to someone.
I would, yeah. And I mean, and like I said, I mean, we go off of enjoyment. I feel confident giving this an 88 out of 100. I think that's a solid score for it. I mean, it's not the best movie I've ever seen, but it's a good ass movie.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Well, I can follow that up. So my absolute favorite part, we already talked about it. Bradley Cooper being in this fucking movie for 2 minutes as whatever those
so random.
That shit was that caught me off guard so much. And like you guys said, like looking in the doorway, I was like, bro, that looked like Bradley fucking Cooper. And then like I was gonna say something like Aiden said, but I was like, no, I'm gonna wait. Like this has to be him. And then we walk in, he's just sitting on the chair like this. I was like, oh my God.
Everyone was laughing.
Yeah, that's honestly probably one of the funnier moments of any movies that I've seen the past couple months here.
Yeah.
That was just so funny, man. But that alone can give it 100 out of 100. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, you do you, man.
I know. But Chris Pine carried this fucking movie. Really good actor. Charisma is on point. Especially with the character that he played. And I think the cast overall is just really good. I don't think there's any bad acting performances. I know you guys are kind of ripping on Michelle Rodriguez with Holga, but
she wasn't awful.
I liked her character, honestly. I think she played it really well for how it was written. And last but not least, just the Guardians vibe. I think that's really the best way to put it with the team up. And I think towards the end, they worked really well together. And, they were able to get the job done, obviously, as it happens in most movies. And I think So, with that said, I'm gonna give it an 86 out of 100. I think that's a really good score. I think I would have enjoyed it a little bit more if I was part of the fan base. I will say that.
Yeah.
But all in all, good movie though.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wish we had someone, that, I mean, I'm sure we'll ask people that we know that play it, I guess. But yeah, I wonder how they would feel about the movie, and if they would think like what I said earlier about them kind of saying things twice at certain points, and the way they explained certain things, like if they thought, that was like a game aspect, or if they thought, that's just bad writing in the movie. I don't know, right? So I'm just making that excuse for it. I do think I do feel like this movie probably could have been cut down like 15 minutes. Nothing
it
crazy.
Did feel long.
It did feel a little long at certain points, but I liked the adventure aspect, and I liked the heist aspect, and I do think all the acting was pretty good. Like Michelle Rodriguez, she grew on me throughout the movie, and I did like the Holga character at the end for sure. Especially like seeing her be like a mother to Kira was really cool. Which made sense, completely made sense. And yeah, so every character's motives and reasonings to doing what they did made complete sense, and I really liked that in the movie. And two, like I don't know if I would personally rewatch it, the whole thing, but like I can definitely see myself watching clips of it on YouTube like in a year from now, like that final fight, or cool scenes like that, or when they run away from the dragon. Yeah, that was all really cool. And I thought even like the sword fights looked pretty cool. They weren't like a bunch of jump cuts or anything like that. So the action scenes actually looked really good. But I'm gonna actually give it the same score as Mike. I'm gonna give it an 86. Like I said, it could have been cut down probably like 15 minutes. And there's some cheesy stuff in there, but I think it played for laughs most of the time, and so I thought it was really good. It's really entertaining. We went into it not really expecting much. I mean, I know we kind of knew the scores a little bit before going in, but if you take Rotten Tomatoes scores with a grain of salt, I feel like most of the time, I mean, Mario having a 56, I'm sure it's not actually that bad. So
I think the same thing with Ant-Man. There is no warrant for it being that low.
Yeah, it's the lowest rated MCU movie, and I don't think it deserves that.
Fucking Captain. Okay,
Shazam was ranked higher on MJR's like star rating. I don't know what that ties into, rating. But yeah.
Yeah, well, like Captain Marvel when it came out was a 96% Rotten Tomato score.
Bro,
so
I remember everybody
1,000 times.
Yeah, I remember everybody being so fucking hyped for that movie with the Nick Fury post-credit scene with the pager. Yeah, that shit was fucking ass. But
and that's the thing, that movie made $1 billion too, and I know it's because it came out right before Endgame, in between Infinity War and Endgame. So yeah. So but yeah, I definitely see them probably making more movies from this if it's successful, which I assume it probably will be, especially from the ratings. So
I can see it maybe crossing $500 million, to be honest with you. Maybe maybe like 300-400 million.
This movie?
Yeah.
It's tough with the time it's coming out in. Yeah. I think Mario will do numbers because it's a family movie, it's Mario, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that will do crazy numbers. Whereas like Air, another good movie, I feel like not enough people will see it, honestly, because it's a smaller film, but like, it's an amazing movie, I think.
But how is it small with Ben Affleck and Jason Bateman?
Well, just compared to like this movie, right, which like cost much more money to make and can market way more, and like same with like Mario, it's coming out in between those two movies, so it comes out the day Mario does. So it's like if you're taking a kid to go see a movie, you're probably going to go see that instead.
Yeah,
but you have the name Michael Jordan around the.
Well, no, I mean it's gonna do well, but you can't really compare the two because you got to think of Oppenheimer that's coming out in June or July, and everyone's gonna run because people are like anticipating it. You don't really look forward to movies that come on at the beginning of the year as much as you do for ones middle and later in the year,
like the summer blockbuster type.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they just.
I hope it does numbers. I really do. But
But
with
then again,
the movies that's coming out around.
How cheesy was the opening scene where they're like standing there like good and like, all right, hey guys, thanks for coming to the theater. Like, yeah, we appreciate you. You're putting.
And you know what, dude? Scream did that too.
Well, yeah, they did
Scream
that.
Did that too.
Really? Yeah. Another movie did that too. I don't know which one it was, but it was like, oh shit.
Yeah, they like thank you for coming to the theater. I think that's been a thing. I think that became a thing after COVID. Like they're thanking you for coming out to support. I think it is because I don't remember that before COVID.
It wouldn't be too bad, but then again, I mean, every movie could do that. Like, imagine getting all the main characters to be like, "Hey guys, like, hope you enjoy the project that we put together for you." Like,
they should do it at the end, if anything, because major characters that you don't want to spoil for
that
them.
is true. So you can't do it like that. And imagine if Bradley Cooper was in there, like that would have been like
I would have been waiting the whole movie. I would have been like,
but well, like I didn't even know Hugh Grant was in it till I saw that thing.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't watch the trailer, so I just knew that what's his name was in it, Chris Pine.
Yeah,
and then that was it.
Yeah, I knew him and Justice Smith, and I knew Michelle Rodriguez. Those are the only three I knew. Yeah. So before seeing the movie, so but yeah, that was
like
our
small indie films definitely makes sense, but I don't know.
Yeah, that was our Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves review. We'll be back Thursday, or Tuesday. Sorry, Tuesday we'll be back for Emperor's New Groove, first animated Rewind movie. Pretty excited. I know we all grew up with the movie and the show, right? So. David Spade, so that'll be good.
Yeah, David Spade?
Yeah. Doesn't he do the voice?
Does he?
No, yeah, pretty sure.
I don't think it was that. He sounded, I know obviously he's a bigger name, but
pretty sure it is. Look it up really quick before we end the episode. And then like I said,
he is. Damn,
yeah,
I really knew that.
Yeah, and then Joe from Family Guy too is that voice actor. Yeah.
The dumb, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually watched a trailer the other day because I hadn't seen the movie. I haven't seen the movies probably since I was 10. And I used to watch the show all the time, but I watched the trailer to the movie, and like even the 1.5 minute long trailer had me laughing. And I remember it being really funny when I was a kid, so I'm excited to watch it now as an adult. It came out in 2000, like literally the year after we were born. So really excited to see that movie again and rewind it. So but yeah, we'll be back Tuesday for that. Yeah. I think that's everything.
All right.
We'll be seeing you.
Peace out. See you next week.
Yeah.